Hello, my dear Aries, and welcome to your general November reading. My name is Heather from the Crystal Vein Tarot. Welcome and thank you for joining me. As a general reading, the messages will not resonate with everyone the same way, so I will try to provide explanations for both career, money, and for love and relationships. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment, and let's get started. Now, Aries, I have already meditated, shuffled, and pulled the cards for the month of November, just to save a little bit of time. I will also pull two cards at the very end, two advice cards. One is for a healing Reiki, living Reiki healing card, and the other is a wisdom for healing card. So we start off the month with the first week with the Seven of Swords energy, followed by Temperance. And then we move into Five of Swords energy, and that is followed by the Four of Swords energy. So Aries, you have a lot of air energy here. Swords are air energy, and so I mean it could even be indicating that there is an air sign around you that has a big influence or big impact on your life. And so that would be someone who is a Libra, Aquarius, Gemini, or has a lot of Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini in their chart. Swords is also about intellect and mental energy. So your swords are your words and your thoughts create your reality, and that's what the swords energy is. But it's also about being in your head a lot and thinking things, or even on the downside, it could be overthinking things, and on the positive side, it could be thinking and working through problems. So you start the month out with the first week you have the Seven of Swords energy, Aries, and so the Seven of Swords is it's a card about that speaks to theft, betrayal, dishonesty, running away. Like, for example, you can see this gentleman here. He's got all these swords in his, sorry, I'm just trying to make sure that there's no light reflecting. He's got these swords in his backpack here, and he's creeping through a window. But it looks like he's coming into the window, not leaving. So is he coming or going? Is he coming back from a heist? Then he just stole a bunch of swords. So, you know, or so it does kind of indicate a little bit of deceit there, or the potential for deceit being around you. So that's kind of the symbolic message behind the Seven of Swords. But what the Seven of Swords showing up here in the first week like this, it's telling you that it's time for you to show your true face to the world, that there's no need to hide. And as long as you're being true in your intentions and your actions, and you're taking the right steps to the path that you need to be on. So, you know, if this is your energy here, it's basically telling you that just be above board, be honest in your intentions and your actions, and that will keep you on the right path. Now, again, it is related to deception and betrayal. So it could also be the energy of someone that's around you, and it could be that you could have someone in your career, business, someone that's in your life, could even be a family member. If you're looking at relationships, someone could be trash talking you or backstabbing you. So it could be that kind of a thing that's going on. But the message for you personally is to just be honest in your intentions and your actions. So with regards to career, money, finance, if you have a job right now, you could be feeling pressured to fit in and be a team player, and it can also, but it could be asking you, or sorry, so you could be feeling pressured to fit in. You could feel like that you're not being true to yourself in that attempt to fit in and be a team player. And so the Seven of Swords is telling you to let people see who you are, and let yourself shine. And with regards to a relationship reading, the Seven of Swords can, if you are single but you're looking for a relationship, it could be indicating that you have a fear of letting your guard down, and that you're afraid of letting people see who you really are. And the Seven of Swords is telling you, though, that you have to let your guard down. That's the only way. If you want a relationship, if you're single and you want a relationship, if you want to attract the right kind of energy and the right kind of person into your life, you're going to have to let your guard down and let them see who you are. If you are in a relationship, the Seven of Swords could be indicating that you are with someone who isn't the right person for you, and it might be time for you to be honest about that and honest with yourself. And also, again, if you're new to the dating scene and you start dating someone, it could also be warning you to pay attention to any red flags that might appear, because the person might not be who they seem to be, or may not be willing to commit to the long term, or may not be being honest with you. So just watch for that, Aries, in that first week, if those are the kinds of things, if that resonates with you, and that's what's going on in your life right now. So, and then for the second week, Aries, we have Temperance. That's the Temperance card there. And Temperance is all about balance, harmony, patience. It's also about self-control and moderation. So if you've been finding that you've been kind of overindulging, so that could be in any area of your life. It could be with regards to money and spending. It could have to do with indulging in drinking and partying, those kinds of behaviors. Or it could be about overindulging too in your romantic life, in terms of you've become almost obsessed with someone, or you're in a relationship that is almost obsessive, or even on the other end, it's a kind of a toxic relationship. That now is the time for balance, and that you need to have a little bit of moderation and self-control. So that's what Temperance is telling you, if any of that resonates with you. Now, with regard to career specifically, if you're working in a very demanding job and you feel as though you have no wiggle room left in your life, in order to have a life, and your whole life just seems to be about your career, that it's telling you that you need to balance that you need that work-life balance, and you need to bring that back into your life. With regards to a relationship, again, this can either indicate, it can go one way and say that there's you're in a calm period where there's not anything going on, or it can be the opposite, where you are so consumed with the relationship that you are letting everything else slide, all your other relationships slide. So relationships with your family, your parents, your kids, like anything like that, siblings. Or you could even be so consumed with a relationship that you're letting your work slide, and it's like maybe you're calling in sick on the Friday so you can be going out and doing things with the person that you're interested in or that you're dating. And so Temperance is telling you that so for the second week of November, Aries, it's just all about balance, and just making sure that you're following kind of like that middle road and that middle path, and everything's in moderation, and that you just show some self-control for the second week of November. And then we have that followed by the third week of November, Aries. We have the Five of Swords. This is really, November's going to really feel like a heavy month, and you are going to be in your head a lot, and overthinking and overanalyzing everything a lot. That's the nature of the cards that you have for the month of November. But the Five of Swords is specifically about like bullies, theft, abusive relationships, toxic relationships, battles, and what the battle's costing you. In this case, you see this person coming home. He's got all the swords of all the other people that he was fighting. So he's won. He's successfully won the battle. However, you see there's fires burning behind him. Everything is damaged. So it's telling you, yeah, you're going to be successful. You're going to win the battle. You're going to win the fight. But at what cost? What relationships are you going to lose? What bridges are you going to be burning in order to win that battle? So So that's just something to watch for that that third week of November, Aries. And it's so if you are naturally, and I mean you being a sorry, I'm bouncing the card everywhere. So being a fire sign, Aries, you are ambitious, you are creative, you're naturally a creative type of person. You're a very passionate person. You go everything that you do, you jump in both feet kind of thing. And so with this card presenting itself in this third week, it's kind of telling you that it's time to get to know yourself a little more and know your spirit of competition, and to harness your ambition, but harnessing it through moderation. Because sometimes if you're overzealous, you know, it can that can have a lot of negative consequences. Again, you want to reach your goals and you want to succeed, and there's nothing wrong with that. But again, at what cost, and who are you going to hurt to do that? So again, and then with Temperance that week before, and that being all about balance, it is time for you to or just make sure that you're balancing your ambition and your desire for competition with kind of like that inner voice inside you, that moral compass. And just making sure that you're not crushing people in order to get where you want to go. And then you finish off the month with the Four of Swords. Again, another Swords card. And in this one here, this card here, you can see that this person is like laying. They're face down, they're resting, and that's what the Four of Swords is. It's a card of rest, retreat, renewal, solitude, recovery. You've just gone through this battle here, and it's time for you to recover and kind of spend some time for yourself and recovering for yourself. So the Four of Swords appears when you need to make space for yourself to rest. So if you've had a very busy and hectic schedule, it's time to schedule yourself some downtime. So maybe even take, go away for the weekend, reconnect with the nature, that kind of a thing, recharge your batteries. This is all about recharging your batteries and taking that time that you need for yourself, Aries. Again, being such a go-getter sign, you don't always do that for yourself. You don't always just take that time to just wind down and relax, because you are Aries do tend to be go-getters and overachievers. So now with regards to your career, it could also be indicating that you could be going through a slow time. So if you have a job, like for example, retail is a good example. I mean, coming into the year time of year we're coming into, retail is not a good example because it does tend to get busier. But the cycles, I'm sure you can relate to the cycles of retail, where you have your busy seasons and your lows and your lulls. For example, like the Christmas season, December, that time is always really busy in retail. But then when it comes to February, it's you can go into a store and you hear crickets, kind of thing. So you could be experiencing something like that in your career. If your career does fluctuate and have those cycles of busy and slow times, you could be going through a quiet time right now in your career. And with regards to relationships, if you're currently dating but not into anything serious just yet, this can be, the Four of Swords can be can reflect that you'll end up feeling that it's best to be on your own for a little while. Now, if you're single and you're hoping to meet someone, the Four of Swords can just say that it's not that it's not going to come to you, but it's going to be slow, and you need to have patience for that, and just know that. Now, if you are in a relationship, it could just be, Four of Swords could be indicating that you're entering a quiet period together. That maybe your relationship has been strained recently, and that now it's time for you to like wind down, reconnect, and just enjoy each other's company without putting any expectations on yourself. And it's time to self-reflect in your relationship. So those are the energies that are around you for the month of November, Aries. I'm now going to pull an advice card from the Wisdom for Healing deck for the month of November. So let's see what advice Spirit has for you for the month of November. Something to reflect on. Oh, so Aries, we have rely on yourself. Okay, and the message of this card is, the lesson behind it is to look at the issue of dependency. Do you rely on others to do what you should be doing for yourself? Healing is also a solo endeavor, and while we all need support during this process, ultimately the task of self-empowerment rests with us. So your goal, Aries, for the month of November is to identify and modify the ways in which you release personal responsibility to others. So that is rely on yourself. And now I'm going to pull a card from the Living Reiki Healing card deck. So what advice do we have? What Reiki healing advice do we have for Aries for the month of November? We have, transform negative emotions. So the Reiki advice, Aries, for you for the month of November is that you can find a healthier and safer way of expressing the frustration that usually lies behind anger by turning the emotion into creativity, going for a brisk walk, or doing that very old-fashioned thing, counting to 10 before you speak. So that is transform negative emotions. So Aries, this concludes your general reading for the month of November. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment, and take care, Aries.